Hey everyone, welcome back to Download Street Scene for episode 2 of the lockdown series. So, I've been trying to think about jobs that I can do and how-tos for people at home. And with that in mind, I've really tried to do this without any specialist equipment, stuff that people are likely to have at home. And if they don't, that they could go out and get relatively easily on like a normal shop. So, first off, I would just like to say thank you so much for all the support that we've had so far. I know I messed the first video up a little bit, but the reactions and comments that people have sent to me and stuff like that have been amazing, and I wouldn't have expected it for just a video that, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing. It's been amazing, like I'm astounded. And secondly, thank you to everyone who sent in their entries for the t-shirt competition. But keep sending them in. It's going to be a great video because everyone loves reactions. And yeah, but make sure they come in. I think we're going to do it, yes, we're going to do it on Monday. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Now, a little bit on GB Detailing. So I've worked with them for 3 years now, and I've yet to find a company that, you know, is as customer orientated as them. They're always striving to put the best products out, always willing to answer questions. You know, I've messaged them in the middle of the night and I've had a reply. And that's a big thing when you think about it from a customer service point of view. We don't all lead the same schedule. Someone's going to work days, nights. They're always around, you know, to sort my messes out, essentially. So they've got everything from degreasers and general cleaners to your show items, all of your waxes, sealants, tyre dressings, everything that you can think of to take your car from, you know, a muddy mess, inside and out, to a show clean car. You know, you hate it when this happens. You've spilled something in your car and you've got this stain. It's not necessarily dirty. I mean, the seat will be dirty all over. What happens when you spill something, you get what's called wicking, and as it dries, it'll pull all of the dirt and dust and stuff that just gets into your seat naturally to the surface, and it'll create this dark mark. But it's relatively easy to get rid of. Especially on black seats, so you'll get like a white stain, and it's actually just the dust that's all been pulled to the surface and outwards by the water or whatever it is that you've spilled. So we're going to use 3 different methods today. So we're going to use the very, very basic cleaning method, which I'll be honest, is probably not going to get it off, but for some stains that you've got at home and you know, basic seat cleaning, it'll be fine. So for that, what we're going to do is you're going to get your fabric cleaner and simply spray it onto the area. Now, all this is for is to give you a solution that will help to lift that dirt off. So we're going to get some sort of soft brush. You can use whatever you want. I've got these double-ended brushes. It's quite stiff on this side, but in all honesty, a toothbrush will do exactly the same. It's just slightly less stiff. So I've got a container of water here, and we're simply going to work it into the area. You see it start to foam up there? So we need the water in there to, again, help lift the stain. I mean, it'd be a lot easier if I could recline this chair, but it's not actually attached to anything. But I presume that you're going to be doing it in situ, which is fine. So I'm going to move on to a bigger brush here, just because it's a lot easier to get them up to. It's actually a lot better if you actually do this. Hopefully you can still hear me over the sound of my own. If you do it in your car on like a nice sunny day, leave a window down a little, just a little bit, and it'll actually dry the seat out. You want the seat to dry out as fast as possible, because it'll reduce the wicking action and help to alleviate those stains. Right, and then we're going to use a towel, and as easy as that, we're going to wipe off whatever residue, and hopefully when I turn this over it's going to be a little bit dirty, so I'm going to... Well, that's just a quick job just to show you the easiest way to do it. But this is quite damp now, so you're going to have to dry it out for quite a bit of time. It's not going to be a 10-minute drying procedure. So as you can see, a lot of the dirt now is in the cloth. Now I know that there's more dirt in there. So while this might work for, the surface of your seats, you haven't really got, really stuck in there. You can get one of these steamers. I know I said that I wasn't gonna use any like specialist equipment or whatever. I picked this up for about £10 at a Swedish small supermarket. And it's got there's like a fabric head on it, like an upholstery cleaner. And it's really good for lifting those stains out. I mean, you can see, the light there. You can see it possibly on camera. There's still a little bit of a stain, like still a little bit discoloured. You could probably get that out by just doing the simple brush on wipe off method a few more times. So I'm going to use this steamer, and we'll see. Obviously that's clean, and we'll see how much dirt it actually pulls out. Actually, not that much. I'm actually surprised. So I know that something's probably been spilled on there, and it's actually got into the cushion itself. So the next method I'm going to use is I did say I wasn't going to use any extractors or anything like that. So this, obviously we've used a steam cleaner. It's not lifted the stain out. At this point, we're going to have to do something a little bit more severe. So this is just a wet vac, a dry hand wet vac that you can get from Machine Mart and Toolstation and places like that. It's not very expensive. I think I picked this one up for £40, and I use it exclusively for cars. But basically, we're going to do the same process as we used before, but we're going to get it a little bit more wet than we did on the first run. We're really going to soak the seat down again. I'm just going to focus on this part because obviously it's what you can see. Obviously yourself, you would do the whole seat. So I'm not really worried about how wet it gets at this point. Just as an added little bit, you can use, perhaps not necessary on this, I tried to get a brush head. So you get a normal drill, you can get a drill brush with these little cones, they're just on Velcro. I ordered a drill brush, but because of the coronavirus and companies not shipping out, it hasn't arrived in time. So I'm just going to use this foam one, and it's just a way to agitate the seat a little bit and try and work that dirt around. Okay, so you can see it's foamed up quite nice. You're probably not going to hear me for the next bit, so I might speed it up, or I might have to voice over it, I don't know. But this is really wet now. Obviously all that product, all that water's in there. So all we're going to do is try and remove as much of the water as possible. The more water you get that's dirty inside your hoover or your extractor or whatever it is that you're using, the less it's going to be in your seat. So alright, so that's considerably drier than it was before. I don't know how much water you could see getting pulled off there, but there was a little, as you sort of pull it back this way, it's you can see like a little pool forming there. So again, we're going to take a cloth and we're just going to dry off as much of the water as we can. Obviously, if you're using an extractor, they've got a lot higher rates of suction, and the little sprayers in front, and they are more effective, but you know, you're going to be paying £200, say, for example, for a good extractor that's suitable for car interiors. But if you're just going to be doing this every now and again, it's not really worth it. You can do it at home with stuff that you've probably got lying around anyway. So as you see, it wipes off now. There's still a little bit of dirt coming off with the water, but nowhere near as much as before. So one thing I am going to do is, I won't record it, but I am going to go through and just rinse the seat off again, just with clean water, just to make sure that all that product is gone. So, just to finish off this little how-to, obviously the easiest and most effective method is always going to be by using an extractor. But are you going to go out and spend £200 on an extractor? You know, if you're going to do this once a year, once every 2 years, you know, in emergency situations, you know, where you've spilled something, no, you're not. You know, use what you've got at home. Maybe a couple of little purchases, but everything here, so the drill brush, or the pad as I used, but you know, you're talking £5 from eBay or things like that. It'll be fine. It's a brush at the end of the day, you know. Toothbrushes, your steamer, like I said, I picked mine up for about £10. It's really good, actually, the steamer. I should probably say that sometimes you get in a car and it's a little bit musty, or it just doesn't smell as fresh as you might want it to. Before you use your air freshener and things like that, you know, try steaming your carpets and your seats, and it'll kill a lot of the bacteria and stuff that does build up over time, especially if it's been damp. And then, once it's dry, then use your air freshener. And give that really, you know, fresh smell. As I said in the last video, in fact it was a live stream, banana milkshake is, you know, McDonald's banana milkshake is my favourite smell in the entire world. I can't even drink milkshakes, but GB Detailing's banana milkshake is unbelievable. So I know it's a bit of a love it or hate it type of scenario, but it does something special to me. So make sure you leave your seats to dry. You know, if you're going to do it in your car, which you probably are, leave your windows down a little bit, and you know, really let it dry out before you do anything else, and go back and check on it to make sure once it's dry that the stain hasn't come back or anything like that. The wet and dry vacuum, I use the Draper, I think it's the 30 litre. It's also got, if you use the hose on the other side, it'll blow out warm air. So if you do need to dry it a little bit more, a little bit quicker, you can always use that feature. I personally don't, because if you've cleaned it well enough, you know, you've done a couple of passes, you've got as much water out as possible, you should be fine, as long as you're not, you know, really drenching your seat, because it will soak into the fabric and into the seat cushion underneath. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. I'm by no means a pro detailer or anything like that. I just have a car that I like to take to shows, and I like to get as clean as possible, and these are just the techniques that work for me really on a day-to-day basis. So you might be sitting at home thinking, you know, I really need to get this sorted, but you know, I'm not really sure where to start. You can do more than you think, and the purpose of these little how-to videos is just to show you how easy it is. You know, that took, and granted I've only done the seat pad, but you know, that took 5-10 minutes, and you can do it at home. And then when people get in your car, they're not gonna be like, oh, it's a bit grim. You know, they're actually gonna think that you know, you take pride in your interior as well as your exterior. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.